Welcome to JEDTV.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 7, season 2 of Lockdown JEDTV. This month we are focusing on our key value of well-being. I'm on my own, I'm afraid, this week. Number 2 says that for the good of his well-being, he's spending more time with his penguin. So, this week we're very lucky to have a well-being message from Mrs. Warnock, and while we hear from her, we're going to see some of the amazing pennants and wordles that Mrs. McLean's P7s made for Mental Health Week. Then some of the S1 to S3 snow photos and photos of the things that make them happy. After that, we have a message from Mr. Henderson, who is the Jedburgh Grammar Campus expert on all things health and wellbeing.
Hi everybody, I'd like to talk to you today about wellbeing. Wellbeing is one of our campus values and something that we hold very, very important all of the time. In the last 12 months, we've been faced with a very difficult to manage global pandemic, and wellbeing has never been more important. It's really, really important to look after your physical health, to look after your mental health, and to keep connected with those around you. We hope you've enjoyed at least some of the extra family time that you've been experiencing during this latest lockdown, and we have been very fortunate to have you sharing lots of your snow pictures and videos with your teachers, and there's been lots and lots of learning outdoors as well. We have been so delighted to welcome back our ELC to Primary 3 pupils along with some of our senior pupils into the campus this week. It's been lovely to see everybody, to have the school filled again with chatter and laughter and lots of learning that's taken place since the return on Monday. We can't wait until we can welcome back, hopefully, our primary 4s to 7s and all of our secondary pupils who've not been able to attend since Christmas. My final message for today is to continue to look after yourselves and think about your own well-being. We do have to stop every now and then and think, what is it that I need? And there are lots of people out there to help you. So continue to look after yourselves, look after your family members, look after your friends, and look after your neighbours, whilst remembering to follow all of the COVID-19 guidance. We'll continue to love seeing and hearing all of our ELC to Primary 3 and some of our senior pupils back into the campus, and hope it's not too long before we can open the campus up to everybody once again. Everybody, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, it's Mr. Henderson here. I hope you're all doing well. As part of the final episode on wellbeing, I just wanted to remind you of some of the key things that we can do to look after our own wellbeing. And you should be able to see in front of you just now 10 different things that have been identified in what we call the Building Resilience programme, which is delivered through our primary schools and also into our secondary schools as well. So if you're in primary school at the moment, you'll probably recognise a lot of these things. Our S1s and 2s should recognise some of these things, and then we'll continue to build them into the secondary school over the next couple of years as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remind you about what each of the 10 headings mean and some of the key messages that come under each of these. So the first one, keep connected, reminds us that relationships are important for our health and well-being. And it's important that we try to maintain these relationships, especially at the moment when it's difficult to maybe see everyone who we would like to see. It also reminds us that belonging to a group can be a good way to build friendships. And again, that's more difficult at the moment. But once, hopefully, restrictions are lifted, then we can get back to joining groups. It's a good way for us to meet people and keep connected and to build relationships with other people. And our final key message is that good relationships are a two-way thing, and they take a little bit of time and effort from people to maintain these relationships with the people that you know. The second topic is respect yourself, and that reminds us that there is no one quite like ourselves, that everybody is different. And our second key message within that is that everybody has different strengths, and it's about respecting the fact that you are maybe good at things that other people are not, and vice versa, and to remember that. And the third one is to always treat yourself with respect and be positive about who you are and the things that you're good at. The third topic is challenge your mindset. And that reminds us that who we are and what we're good at is not fixed. We can always get better at things. We can always learn new skills and new knowledge that can help us to be able to do new things. It also reminds us that the way that we think and feel and learn shapes our brain, and that our brain is ever adapting. We can always make new connections in our brain, which, as I say, helps us to learn new things. And finally, that changing and being able to change comes about through the choices that we make. And if we make positive changes and we try to push ourselves sometimes outside our comfort zone, then we can actually bring about change through the choices that we make. The fourth topic is take a moment. And that reminds us that we all experience a range of different emotions every day. Even within a day, you can feel happy, you can feel sad, you can feel excited, you can feel anxious, and that's absolutely normal. It reminds us also that we can sometimes feel stressed, and again, that's normal, that everybody feels stressed at various times, and it's just about how we overcome that. And it also reminds us that everyone has different ways to cope. Everyone will have things that help them, whether that's speaking to a friend, whether that's doing something for somebody else, whether that's many of the things here that we're about to speak about can actually help us when we are feeling a little bit stressed or down. Talk things over reminds us, similar to take a moment, that at times that we all feel worried and anxious. And it reminds us that if these worries are not dealt with, they can sometimes get a little bit out of control. So something that might start as quite a small worry might become bigger if we don't actually deal with it while it's quite a small worry. And it reminds us finally that if we are struggling, then it's important to ask for help. And hopefully everybody has someone that they can talk to, whether that's a family member or a friend or a teacher, and it's important that we speak to somebody about things if we're feeling a little bit anxious about them. On to the second line, and the first one, being a PE teacher, is my favourite, is get active. And it reminds us that getting active is not just good for our body and our fitness, but it's also good for our mind. It releases chemicals in our brain when we're active, and this can be really good. Even when we're not maybe feeling like going out, getting out and doing something, it can make us feel better. It also reminds us that having a range of hobbies and interests that you enjoy doing is really important. And that doesn't have to be sport. That could just be, doing things with friends. It might be games that you enjoy or other things. So having a range of hobbies is important. And finally, that doing anything new involves taking a risk. There's times where I've went along to a new club for the first time and I'm maybe a little bit nervous because it's something different, it's something that I've never been to before, and that sometimes we have to take little risks in order to try something new. Make a difference reminds us that humans can all have an impact on the world and on each other. And even children, if it's children that are listening to this just now, even you can contribute to solving big problems, and you can see examples of children across the world who are making a real difference. And finally, it reminds us that to make a difference to another person, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Even small things and meaningful things can really make a difference to somebody, and try to do that as much as we can. Look on the bright side reminds us that the way that we think can affect the way that we feel. And you may have heard the phrase, we can look at things a glass half full or a glass half empty. And there's different ways of looking at the same thing. So you might have one problem or one issue, and that you might be able to take positives from it, and you might be able to take negatives from it. And at times it's actually more about how we look at things rather than the issue itself that affects how we feel. And it also reminds us that we can try to focus on what we're grateful for and what we're thankful for. And everybody will have different things in their life that they're happy with and that they can be thankful for. Be kind to others, similar to making a difference, reminds us that kindness can make a difference not only to other people when we're kind to them, but also to ourselves. I know that and I'm sure many of you will feel good when you actually do something for somebody else. And that can make a difference to our health and well-being too. It also reminds us that being unkind can hurt other people. And if we are trying to be kind to others and think about their health and well-being, then that's not something that we want to do. And it can make you feel rubbish about yourself. And finally, that it's important to be kind to yourself and to try to remember the things that you enjoy and to make time for these things, even when we're maybe busy or we've got lots of other things that we're maybe having to do. And our last topic is having a goal. And that reminds us that setting a goal, a realistic goal, can help to motivate us and give us something to aim for. It can help us learn that we can overcome setbacks, and that having a goal can help us do that and to cope with future setbacks that we might have. And finally, our last sort of key message from this information is that it's important to celebrate our successes and to celebrate the goals that we've achieved. So if you think back to something that you've aimed for and that you've managed to achieve that, then to celebrate that, and to be pleased with yourself that you've managed to do certain things. So I hope that's been helpful. I know it's a lot of information, but even just looking at the 10 key headings here and remembering at the moment how important our health and well-being is, and that there's lots of things that we can do if we just remember what they are to look after our own health and well-being.
Current government advice is stay home and save lives. 1 in 3 people with COVID don't have any symptoms but can still pass it on. Remember, if you need to go out, wear a face covering, avoid crowded places, wash your hands and clean surfaces regularly, and keep 2-metre distancing from other people. Stay safe, everyone. Remember, together we can do this.
Stay safe, everyone. Remember to follow the guidelines. See you next week.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and remember to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. See you next time.